Hi everyone. Let me first preface this video by saying this is not a tutorial video. This is more of experimentation on figuring out how to make slime abroad, because we don't have Elmer's glue here, so for the longest time I didn't think we could make it here, but obviously we can. So it just took a little bit more reading and a little more research for me to figure out what products to buy here in Ecuador in order to make the slime. But this is my first batch and it needs some help. So I'm posting this video because I'm hoping some of you expert slime makers out there can help me with my little problem. I think I've figured it out, but I haven't tried it yet. I have all these little bumps in my slime. I followed the tutorial or the recipe that was on Elmer's Glue's website. But I think I need to melt this baking soda because it's leaving lumps and bumps in my slime. So I was happy that I got the right consistency, but I need work with making it smoother. This is my first one. This one is really bumpy, and you'll see why in a minute when you see this video. And this one's a little harder. This one was a different glue. Whereas the better glue to use, I'm finding, is this cheaper one called Uhu here. So I'll just step you through my process of what I've done, and all of you slime experts out there, please put your comments below. Tell me what recipes to check out. The reason why I'm doing this video is because this is such a craze in the States, and I know the kids here in Ecuador would love them. So it doesn't cost that much for these supplies, so I thought I'd make some gifts for some of the little kids that are like 6 to 12 years old that we know here in Ecuador. I thought they'd have a lot of fun with this. So help me out, please, and let me know what some of the best slime recipes are and what you feel would be safest for young children. And I look forward to hearing from all of your comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll continue to show you my advancement in the next videos after I read some of y'all's suggestions. Thanks for helping me out. My daughter had been asking about it when the craze first came out, but I didn't really pay much attention to it because they were using Elmer's glue. And since we live here in Ecuador, I was like, well, we don't have Elmer's glue here. But I didn't really pay attention to the ingredients behind it and what some of the key words were. I don't know why, but lately on my channel, when I open YouTube, slime videos have been popping up. I guess because they're really popular right now. I guess because a lot of kids in the US are on summer vacation and probably making a lot of slime. So I decided to watch some of those videos and actually learned about some key ingredients that maybe make it possible for us to go ahead and try it here. So when we went to the grocery store today, I went ahead and told my girls to let's go ahead and find some stuff and see if they want to try making slime. Now, the one thing we couldn't find at the grocery store was food coloring. Go figure. They do make cake here, and I know it does exist here, but it's, I guess, considered more a specialty item, so I would have to find an actual bakery store in order to find food coloring, and I just didn't have the energy for that today. So we didn't get food coloring, so I'm going to try to use my Lindy Stamp Gang Magical Micas. These are mica powders that, when they're wet, these are the colors that they turn into if you've never seen them before. But the website is called Lindy Stamp Gang, so we're going to see how these end up turning out in the slime and if the color of the pigment in the mica shows. It's kind of shimmery, so I thought it might be pretty. Also, we just picked up a couple of glitters. It's a very limited selection we have here. But these were like 63 cents, so I picked up some of those. So we thought we'd try 3 separate glues. I think when I was reading up about Elmer's, the key ingredient with that is that it's called a PVA glue. So I wish I'd paid more attention to that before we went to the store, because then I would have also picked up clear. But this is the one I'm most familiar with, not so much in the US, but it's actually a German company. I think it's called Uhu. If it's called something else, please comment below and put it phonetically the best way you can figure out for me. But I'm familiar with this one because we used this in Japan when I was a kid. My grandmother would have the smaller tubes with a little squeeze bottle. She also had the glue stick. And so that's what we used for crafts around my grandmother's house when we were in Japan. So this one also, if you just look at the bottle, looks the most similar to Elmer's. But when I actually read the back, it doesn't give me any clue if this is PVA or not. Rather, it just gives a general broad description of what the glue can be used on, and then lists that it was made in Germany. It's also imported and distributed in Mexico and Peru. So I'm guessing that this one was possibly imported from Peru, since we're here in Ecuador. So I don't know if it's PVA, but we're going to try. This one is called Pagamento Doricolor, and that one has a little bit more hope for me because under components it says resinas vinílicas, so vinyl resin. So even though it doesn't use PVA, it does have the word vinyl in it. So this one has a little bit of hope for me. This one is from Colombia. This one's imported from Colombia. And this one I am positive will work. It's called Cola Branca. It's actually from Brazil? Yes, made in Brazil. So this one is made in Brazil, and right in the ingredients that's listed on the back, it says resina de PVA. So PVA resin. So this one I have pretty high hopes for, that it will actually work. Now this was the largest bottle they had of this one, and it's 3.52 ounces. So I think the smallest recipe I saw was on Elmer's website, and it was for 4 ounces of glue. So I may have to cut that recipe down slightly for the things that I add to this. We also have some contact solution that my daughter has from here in Ecuador. I guess it's supposed to be the equivalent of Opti-Free in the States, but I'm not really sure of the ingredients. They're in Spanish and it's very few that are listed. I heard that there was specific ingredients we're supposed to look for there as well, with like, I thought with some type of boric acid, but I'm not seeing that on here, so I don't know if this one's going to work. The baking soda I bring in from the States. I stash it in my suitcase whenever I can, or I have my friends when they come visit from the States put it in their suitcase, because here we can get baking soda, but in very small quantities. It's like a little bitty baggie at the pharmacy. So I heard some of the bigger stores may start carrying larger amounts of baking soda again, because one of the most popular cleaning agents here in Ecuador is water and vinegar. And of course, in the States, we mix also water, vinegar, and baking soda to help with grout and things like that. So I think I heard that they may be releasing a little bit bigger amounts at the grocery stores here. This is detergent. Again, I don't know if this will work or not. The ingredients listed are so tiny, and I don't even know if they use boric acid in Ecuador, so I don't know if this detergent will work or not, but we thought we would try various different ways. I just got some little plastic clear cups and some plastic tablespoons so that we can mix everything in, and we'll see how it goes. So when my daughters are up and around, maybe they'll be interested in helping out with this, since this was originally one of her ideas, and see how this slime turns out in Ecuador. Well, I got tired of squeezing from that little bitty tip, so I used my Tim Holtz scissors and I just cut off the fine tip so that I could really get this glue out of this bottle. my first batch of slime has been finished. I used this glue from Brazil, which was described as a PVA glue, along with some baking soda, and this contact solution did work that we got here in Ecuador. So that worked fine. And the only thing I would change is instead of adding these magical micas in the dry stage, I need to continue to dilute it first in the contact solution. Then the color will evenly disperse into it. So these little pieces that you see, those are the clumps of magical mica that didn't dissolve. I don't know if maybe they will more as I play with it more, but I got the consistency. It doesn't stick to anything, doesn't stick to my hands. It's just a playful slime. So let's see if we can get that sound you all love so much out of the slime. For the second try, I'm going to try the German Uhu glue and see if this one works for me. But this time I'm going to make it a teal color, and I'm going to try to make sure to dissolve this magical mica powder before I add it to the glue. Okay, so I do like how this one came out better. It definitely cleared the cup a lot more easily than the pink one did for me by using the Uhu glue and contact solution, baking soda. I did dissolve the Lindy Stamp Gang Magical Mica before I added it, but I still have those lumps. So I figured out those lumps are actually the baking soda. So I am curious if you slime experts out there can tell me if you're able to make a version of this with baking soda that's not so lumpy. Should I dissolve it in water, or what should I do differently? So these are our first batches of slime. The reason why I'm curious is I thought these would be just some fun little gifts to give to kids here in Ecuador. So I want to make it safe for kids, but at the same time, make it a little smoother. The ones I've seen online just seem to be more smooth than this, and this seems a little bumpy to me. So you slime experts out there who might be watching this, please let me know how I can get these baking soda lumps out of here, or if I should use something else other than baking soda. All right, thank you for your tips and pointers. I look forward to seeing them, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.